Just like Thursday, the boat in trouble. This time, Nomura was able to wriggle off the hook with 1:30 to go, and now they hold a favored position. Not going to have it. Game here is to get up to full speed. Kayard makes his move first, and he'll be going faster when the gun goes off. Go down below the line. 20. 17. 14. 13. 4, 3, 2, 1, cut! Another clean start and another good job by Dellenbaugh.
Well, I guess that's another good job by Dellenbaugh. Hi, everybody. How are you doing tonight? So, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is in jail tonight. Cause he did some shit. He's being held accountable for it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Even the noble Duke of York is being held accountable for the charge is that he did shit in his official capacity that was what's the right word? Got his own out of, feathering his nest, right? The noble Duke of York. That rich asshole is being held to account by his brother, the King of England. Actually, he's being held to account by the people of Great Britain, right? It's really bizarre that the people of England have a better handle on holding people to account than we seem to be able to do here in the United States. It's crazy. It's crazy that people all over the world are being held to account for the involvement of people at the highest ranks of their government being involved in sexual predation can't say it any simply than we're willing to do here. I think that, a lot of people are saying, "Well, this is the first time since, Charles the First got his ass executed." Well, it's really not quite that way. There was the whole War of the Roses thing, it's like Charles the First is one thing, but it's Richard the Third who was, sort of held to account. And what was Richard the Third held to account? Well, he sort of, uh, locked his nephews up in the castle in the Tower of London, and they sort of never showed up again. It's like, eh, that wasn't all good. One of my earliest memories is of my daddy on my daddy's knee. The noble Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up the hill one day, marched down again. And when they were up, they were up, up, up. And when they were down, down, down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Well, the noble Duke of York, who the title that Andrew held was the Duke of York. And the title that Richard the Third had was the Duke of York. And R- R- Richard the Third wound up being killed and recently exhumed in a car park in Lancashire. It's like, okay, Andy's got a lot of explaining to do. Um, it's I think actually the stuff that's coming out around the Epstein files is exposing how horrifyingly gross people of wealth and privilege are trying to manipulate, have tried for years to manipulate the us, all of us. To think that we're we have no power. But folks, the thing is we do have power. we do have we do have power so long as we have enough juice to pay attention to the way that power is being exercised against us. Give me a give me a second here. I'd say, oh my goodness. Hey Zoe. Hey PC. Oh, I had a whole I had a whole thing going on here, but I'm not really sure I'm gonna be able to connect all the dots for y'all. I think it's a big thing that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is in the hoosegow right now. I think it's a big thing that the King of England is disowning his own fucking brother. Uh, you know, you need to think about the fact that what we're talking about here is oh, pardon me, is a family breaking apart over this. And a family at the absolute apex of of uh, of power and wealth. I mean, Jesus Christ, the King of England. Don't think it's a good idea to diddle little kids. When what Andrew is accused of is essentially that given secrets in his in his in his capacity as in his official capacity here. But you know, I know, we all know it's all about his doing so in the service of his willingness to do these things so that he can get access to a network of sexual abuse. This is a big deal, folks, and I swear to God, Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor is a weak link, and Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor, if he spends a few nights in jail, where he is at right now and where the King of England is saying he can stay as long as the fucking process is there. He's not gonna be his attorneys are gonna say, uh, look, Andy, maybe it would be a good idea for you to sort of spill the tea. And I think he will. And I think, uh, you know, I think that the tea is going to be incredibly bitter for the people in the United States who are trying to cover up the tea. I have a coworker who's from the UK, and it's like he said, "Nah, the guy's not. He, he's gonna do what he needs to do for himself." And I hope, I hope he spills the tea on all of the other motherfuckers in the Epstein class who were fucking kids. Hope this happens. I don't know if it will, but we're not talking about Charles I. We're talking about Richard III. It's like, you know, all these people tried to override the proper progress of the world in the context of the War of the Roses. Uh, it's it ended when everybody realized that when there was an alternative, when there was an alternative presented, right? So, like Henry VII was the alternative. Henry Tudor was the alternative to another 40 years of war. I think we've moved on, but from from the from the notion of bloodlines and this and that. But there is an alternative here. There's an alternative that we've all known about, and the alternative was the kind of alternative that was presented in the in the 18th century by the people that founded this nation that knew all about how executive power is dangerous. There is a reason that Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States is about Congress. Every single founder thought that Congress was the primary branch of government. It is why the power to make war and the power of the purse was vested in Congress. The power of the purse and the power of making war is fundamentally what the power of a nation state is all about. Please, think back. Those people, uh, uh, what made what made the American Revolution? It's the Continental Congress. It took them a long time to figure out how to create an executive. They they wanted to preserve power to the people. They did. They wanted to preserve power in the people. They were afraid of executive power. They they realized that it was really important that, decisions get made. But in my lifetime, I will tell you, uh, in my lifetime, I have watched Congress, our representatives, give away power, particularly the war power, to the executive branch. I'm a kid who I'm a well, not a kid anymore, kiddo, but I watched 60,000 of my fellows die in Vietnam because Congress did not have the fucking balls to say, "We don't want to do this." I am watching today uh, a military buildup in 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 the Arabian Gulf. I'm watching as at an an out of control executive is ready to launch a strike against a foreign country that nobody wants. No one wants this. Aside from the fucking billionaires, aside from the club that Donald Trump belongs to, that Bibi Netanyahu belongs to. We shouldn't be electing people that belong to the billionaire club. We shouldn't be electing people that belong to the Epstein class. The people that want to get a fine piece of ass or grab women by the pussy. We shouldn't be we should be concerned about what our w- we shouldn't even we should be more concerned about ourselves than the rest of the. I mean, come on. You want to make America great again? Turn to your neighbor. America was great when Francis Perkins was starting Social Security, starting the TVA, making sure that we were caring about one another. And in doing so authentic, not with slogans. It's like FDR, the New Deal was not a slogan. It was real. It made a difference. Make America great again is just like a slogan. How great are you? You know, if how great you are depends on making sure that people like me aren't at great at all, in polling, it's nonsense because on a on a person to person basis, you will not find people who toe that MAGA line on a person to person basis. You will not find that people that toe that MAGA line want to be sure that I'm in prison. It's not the way it works on a person to person level. People have been hoodwinked, hoodwinked by by an ideal, by a bunch of bullshit. Now I got gonna flip switch here. It's like, okay, so if people are able to be hoodwinked by a bunch of rhetoric, then I need to say that we need to be more clever about our rhetoric. We need to be a lot more clever about our rhetoric. If we want to actually save the people who are endangered, like myself, like, you know, uh, uh, you know, minorities, etc., and so forth, we need to be a lot more clever about our rhetoric. We need to, in my opinion, we need to focus on inclusion for the purpose of building unity behind the notion that people can be diverse, can be true behind the ideals of worship who you want, love who you want, speak what you wish. All of this is critical. And it's critical that each one of us says in real time, that's important. I had a long conversation with a woman this evening who we hang out at this local bar, right? It's like, okay, and she and I were at this were at this local during the Bad Bunny thing, and it's a fucking dive bar, fucking Portland, Maine, and there were a number of people who were calling out, screaming out, "Ah, fucking all this shit with the fucking Spanish, the fucking specs, and this, that, and the other thing." It's like, and we were both, at the time, appalled. I was like, "What the fuck?" I mean, both of us are going, "Yeah, okay, way to go, Munjo Hill Tavern." It's like, no. And we were screaming, you know, you need to fight. And you need to fight. You're not gonna. You can fight online. That's great. That's all good. But online ain't shit. You know, nobody knows me online. People know me at the Munjoy Hill Tavern. Nobody knows me anywhere else other than in life. Online stuff. Let me tell you something, folks. Online stuff is that all the virtual shit is shit. You need to get to know people really. All this, people have been going on about geez, these atheist conventions, blah 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 blah. Listen, I'm gonna say it right here and right now. It's like if what I know, if what I've heard about what went down in some fucking atheist convention is for real. Nobody should fucking put up with sexual abuse. And let me tell you something else. It is not unusual to have seen sexual abuse in atheist spaces because people have like sexy time ideas and they often get fucking screwed up. If you need further confirmation of that, I would suggest that you take a look at Rebecca Watson's history and her fucking presence in the fucking Epstein files on account of the fact that several of the people that sexually accosted her are in the Epstein files. I would urge you to not just think that your team is okay. It's not. People are assholes. People can be assholes. Even people that you thought were not assholes, they can be assholes. It's perfectly okay to say, "Hey, man, what up, Elliot?" Perfectly okay. You can't fucking just let it roll. Anyway, I'm just happy that it's like, okay, here's the thing. It's like, how long did it take the royal family to just basically throw Andrew under the bus? They're not throwing him under the bus. He did that shit. How long is it going to take for people to hold each other accountable for the shit they did? It goes on and on and on. Well, until we develop a global notion that we need to hold one another accountable and also be willing to hold out charity to saying, yeah, I fucked up. You know, nobody has to be a permanent pariah. I'm just like, you go, yeah, I fucked up. It's like, we all fuck up. We have, it's a two-sided thing. But, you know, for whatever reason, the culture is not there anymore. And it's kind of sad. Kind of sad. Maybe we could do better. You know, there's a reason I'm not here anymore because I'm a drunkard and an asshole, and and everybody hates me. You know, there are a number of people who will tell you that's exactly who I am. But you know what? I will tell you, at least from my point of view, who I am is a 72-year-old trans woman who transitioned now 28 years ago, who has seen a lot, seen a lot. And I'm very, very sad about what I see now. The things that I see that are hopeful for me for the future are the people that are waking up and understanding that it's not about religion. It's not about it's not about the the left and the right. It's about compassion. It's about understanding. It's about listening. It's about hearing. It's about letting your fucking letting your fucking prejudices, your own prejudices, the ones you've developed in your mind, go and listening. and finding a way forward that is that is that is focused on the broadest scale. I come on here every now and again. I hope that those words make some sense, but I seriously feel like they're not, that that that's not a path most people wanna take, and it sucks because it's the only path forward for y'all. I'm 72. I'm gonna die. Good luck. Good night.